Hi everyone, and welcome to my guide for the LoD Weapon Throw Barbarian. Now this is mostly a T16 build because it's not exactly very powerful. So if you want to take this into GRs beyond ED or so, it's going to be quite tough to actually perform at a decent pace. But it is a bit of a side effect of the buffs to Raker set that also introduced some extra damage bonuses for weapon throw. So this is some footage from the PTR where I've been trying this out, and it actually works pretty well. It's not like the best T16 build ever, but I'm able to kind of consistently farm Nephilim Rifts in like 2 minutes or so, depending on the layout. And it was definitely working fine with not even the craziest setup. I had like half non-ancients here, so the damage can be way better. And obviously I also didn't really optimize most of these items here for just the T16 build. So let me walk you through the setup here. We have the two newly buffed weapons for weapon throw, the 300th Spear and the Ariad's Law. So these are also used in Raker build, but they also buff weapon throw. Both of these weapons give you 200% extra damage, and we also have 200% attack speed from the 300 Spear. So you're throwing those weapons like a machine gun with like 8 or 9 weapons a second when you have your attack speed buffs up. And it just is kind of hilarious to play. You can like one-shot most trash with weapon throw. You have this ricochet rune that hits up to 3 enemies. And with so many weapons at the same time, you can decimate even large packs of trash in a second or two. And you've finish off the elites in a few hits. Aside from this, there are two more important items. So one is the Oath Keeper, this is the third weapon that goes with it, which is another 200% damage buff for your generators and 50% attack speed, multiplicative as well. So you can also wear this one, it doesn't really matter which one you're equipping. And there's the Death Diggers for 100% extra damage for generators as well. So these are quite important. And the rest of the setup is fairly generic LoD stuff, I would say. So we have a Band of Might here for some toughness, okay. There's a SOJ, doesn't really matter that much. A Scourge Necklace is quite useful actually, especially if you combine this with the rather high toughness of this build and the St. Archer's Gloves that give you a shield. So like this, you have another, most of the time at least, 100% damage bonus. And then we have basically no shoulders, basically no bracers, but Rotsekian can sometimes proc you a movement speed buff, and basically no boots, and Lyric's Crown for a bit of extra cooldown reduction. So it is fairly simple. The gems are the Boon of the Hoarder, obviously, for the 16 farming, Legacy of Dreams, and we have Simplicity Strength. If you really want, you could probably play the setup with Legacy of Nightmares, the 2 rings, and then you get an extra gem slot. So it would be probably Zaze is the best option here for some extra damage. But you're going to lose a lot of toughness, so this is not going to feel as comfortable. The skill setup is also extremely simple and is also very simple to play. You have weapon throw, which is your main ability, is going to spam this all the time when you see enemies. And the rest is either mobility with Furious Charge or just buffs. So we have Battle Rage, Ferocity, extra speed, extra damage. He's going to press this once every 2 minutes. We have War Cry, you're going to face roll this on cooldown, gives you a toughness buff and also a movement speed buff from Shelanic's Chain. Then we have Sprint, same thing here, you just press this every few seconds to get 40% extra speed. And we have Wrath of the Berserker, which also mostly gonna be pressing on cooldown. This won't be permanently up, but it also doesn't really matter, it's just another damage and speed buff here and there. And with this whole setup, you're gonna be running at like 300 miles an hour, and you just use your Furious Charge sometimes when you're out of enemies to attack, and just to move to the next pack really quickly, and then let it recharge so you can use it again. So it is very simple, it is very fun. I definitely had a lot of fun trying it out on the PTR, and if you're playing Barbarian yourself next season, I can just recommend you guys to give it a shot. As I had mentioned, you don't really go much further than this, at least not really very conveniently, but obviously I would be very excited to hear if anyone tries to push with this setup as well. So maybe you can even beat a GR100. Anyway, just a short little guide I wanted to make for this setup. Have a lot of fun in Season 26. Hope you like this video, subscribe for more Diablo 3 guides, and I'll see you guys next time.